Roger, do you think this was a good idea? The helicopter pilot said we'd be here for 2 hours.
Denise, it's a helicopter pub crawl. What could possibly be better?
I don't know, a golf resort? A Caribbean cruise? A train trip through the Rocky Mountains? Chinese water torture?
This will be an experience you will never forget. How many people can say they've flown out into the middle of nowhere for a beer?
This isn't a holiday, Roger. This is a hostage situation. With beer, cold meat pies and blowflies.
The helicopter pilot said the locals might have a yarn or two to tell. Let's go and soak up some of the atmosphere.
That could be dangerous. It might be contagious.
You know what they say, Denise? You'll never know unless you go, and you're there.
Where, Roger?
Out. In the Outback.
It looks like they might have some entertainment here tonight. Probably kangaroo karaoke.
Good afternoon, sir. Lovely establishment you have here.
Nice to meet you. What can I get for you today?
An icy cold beer would be great. What else is on offer?
Got icy cold VB, warm meat pies and whiskey. Top shelf.
I'll have the icy cold VB. Any chance of a lemon squash for Denise? She's feeling the heat.
Stuff that. I'll have a large whiskey in a dirty glass.
We have a very special drop out here. I think you'll like it.
Denise is interested in what entertainment might be in store for us this afternoon.
We got the jukebox and darts, and if you look out the back window, you'll see some fair dinkum Aussie culture. Kev might give us a tune or two after he's had a couple of skewies. They're training for the budgie smuggling thong throwing competition. It's a big event, and it's on next week.
Thank heavens we won't be around to see that.
I dunno about that, Roger. I think I'm starting to like this place.
Hey Denise, it might be best if you raise the bar a bit there. There might be some real Outback music talent here.
That's a nice guitar there. Who was the guy who played it?
That's a JRB signature. Martin Authentic.
Did that guy over there know this JRB? And who was JRB?
Yes, indeed he did. And he's hoping to catch up with him soon.
Where is he now? Does anyone know?
One thing we do know about John Ray was that he was trying to forget about his past, and he was uncertain about his future.
Sounds like a line from a song.
John Ray Brown was a solitary man. He never stayed in one place for too long. He traveled around the land like the wind the helping hand, and he never done anyone wrong. He traveled from Darwin to the Atlas and all along the Birdsville track. And whenever he got back on the road again, there would be no turning back. He had a 6-string guitar in the back of his car. He would play and sing all night long. They put money in a jar in every hotel bar whenever he played a song. He ran from Barman to the Alice and all the way across the room. He played in every bar way out in the scrub, never to an empty room. When he met her with a singer in a cocktail bar, she corners of the Karaoke Queen. She had a voice like an angel, a heart as big as Texas, the prettiest face he'd ever seen. She said, let's get out of this mudhouse town. Let's go down to the big show. She had come a long way to get this far, but she still had a long way to go.
Hey, that's a great yarn. But can you back up a bit and tell us more about this mysterious guitar player?
If you want the real story, you ought to go and have a word with Kev. Kev Kelly knows all there is to know about the Outback. Word is he might be a distant relative of Ned Kelly.
He sure looks like he might have a yarn or two to tell.
And you wouldn't meet a nicer bloke if you were a day and a half on horseback.
Are we going horse riding? Woohoo! I'm in.
The Brumbies out here might be a bit too frisky for you, but we do have camels.
Camel riding, that sounds even better. Let's do it.
Maybe later, Denise. Go and see what you can find out from Kev.
Hi, Kev. Barry reckons you might have a story to tell about the bloke who played that old guitar on the wall.
Yeah, John Ray Brown. We go way back. He played that old Martin in just about every pub from here to Whoop Whoop.
Barry also hinted you might be related to Ned Kelly. Any truth to that, or is that just more Outback BS?
Depends who you ask. Anyway, stories stick out here like red dust on a ute.
Okay, if you say so. But tell us more about John Ray Brown.
No one knows too much about him, but there's a story going round that he was raised by dingoes out at Ayers Rock.
Seriously, that sounds rather far-fetched.
Nah, just pulling your leg. Would you believe it if I told you that he was raised in Nimbin by a couple of tree huggers who were taken by a crocodile while skinny dipping up at Kakadu?
That's pretty hard to believe. Try pulling the other leg.
John Ray did live on one of those communes up at Nimbin. That's where he got into music.
So I suppose he was playing those 60s hippie folk songs, was he?
Started out that way. A bit of Dylan, a bit of Donovan, a lot of protest songs and a lot of passive smoking. And then he saw the light.
You mean like he might have had an epiphany or something?
A what? Out here we call that a brain fart, especially after we've had a few schooners.
An epiphany. A sudden revelation. Like when you realise that you're in the wrong line of work and you need to quit your job and join the circus.
Join the circus? He didn't need to. Nimbin was a circus with a bit of Woodstock and a long Centrelink queue.
Maybe he didn't have one of those brain farts. Maybe he just heard Jimmy Page playing Stairway to Heaven.
Jimmy who? Anyway, somewhere in the middle of all that, John Ray found something real. Something the rest of them missed while they were busy painting rainbows on combi vans.
Are you for real? You haven't heard of Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin? They were rock gods.
Never heard of them. Were they on Countdown?
Oh my God, I give up. It might be time to go camel riding.
That might have to wait until after lunch. Anyway, John Ray had a sound that stuck to your ribs like a Sunday roast.
Are we getting a roast for lunch? Sounds better than warm meat pies that have been in the bain-marie for too long.
Out here, it's so hot, Barry doesn't even need to turn the bain-marie on to keep the pies warm.
I think I'll pass on the pies. I'd rather risk Barry's roast. Preferably beef or lamb. Well done.
Barry is over there in the bistro. Let's ask him what's on the menu today.
All right, today's menu: kangaroo schnitty, camel curry, koala cutlets and crocodile kebabs.
Barry taught that crocodile a lesson he'll never forget.
I hope we won't be eating that camel I was going to ride this afternoon.
Don't worry, Denise. Lulu and Tootsie are out the back waiting for you. They are very friendly. We also have a very nice witchetty grub risotto.
Are those sorts of dishes legal? Kangaroo schnitty. We can't eat our national symbol.
It's all good, but Barry doesn't serve emu. Too hard to catch.
Do these dishes come with chips and salad?
Nah, mate, no one eats salad in the Outback. Out here, lettuce wilts faster than a pom in the midday sun.
Okay, you win. Just bring us the chips.
Steady there, Denise. That menu is just a routine Barry likes to trot out when city slickers turn up here.
Fair enough. You got me. But let's get back to the John Ray Brown story.
Some say he's just a loner. Others say he's running from something he'll never outrun.
This is starting to get interesting and even more mysterious.
What do you reckon, Barry? Can you tell us the real story about why John Ray was travelling around the Outback alone?
Yeah, Barry. Tell us how come he ended up travelling around the Outback. What happened to his family?
Some of the stories you hear out here are taller than termite mounds. But this one is true.
Okay, that's it. Saddle up the camels.
Their house went under and they lost everything in a once-in-a-hundred-year flood. 45 years of blood, sweat and tears buried under the mud. Few words were spoken, everything was broken. are cold and the days are long. Out in nowhere land. What doesn't kill you will make you strong. Out in nowhere land. When you get there, you will find all will be revealed. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. When the deal is sealed, good times, bad times, you'll have your share. Out in nowhere land, maybe you'll meet your maker there. Out in nowhere land, I'm nowhere man, living in nowhere land.
I'm nowhere man with a nowhere plan. Time is your only friend. A long winding road ahead, a road that has no end. You will stay forever in nowhere land.
The nights are cold and the days are long. Out in nowhere land. What doesn't kill you will make you strong. Out in nowhere land. The nights are cold and the days are long. Out in nowhere land. What doesn't kill you will make you strong. Out in nowhere land.
So how was it that he ended up in Nimbin after his time in Nowhere Land?
That's a story in itself. One day he's drifting through the desert, the next he's up in the hills of Nimbin. Probably saw smoke signals sending some sort of invitation.
I guess it wasn't just campfire smoke.
Nah, the whole valley was under a cloud thicker than an LA smog.
So he must have felt that he finally had somewhere to hang his hat.
They reckon he took his guitar to the markets one day and came back with 3 tie-dyed T-shirts, a crystal necklace, and a macrame plant holder, and he had no idea how he got them.
They must have liked his guitar playing.
They reckon he could string his guitar with fence wire and still make it sound good.
Well then, he must have realised that he could make a living with his music. But probably not in Nimbin.
Too right. He'd probably get a jar of chutney, a vegetarian lasagna, a knitted guitar strap, and a handwritten poem on recycled toilet paper.
Charming way to show their appreciation of his music, but probably not going to pay his rent.
Nimbin was an interesting experience and he learned a lot about music, but it was time to move on in more ways than one.
So he had gone from nowhere land to La La Land. What would be next, I wonder? Probably heard Jimi Hendrix playing Purple Haze.
Jimmy who? Anyway, in Nimbin, nobody could tell if it was John or just some bloke down the street tuning his sitar.
Unbelievable. No one knew who Jimi Hendrix was. No wonder it was time to get away from those drongos and bath dodgers.
Yeah, half of them were hugging trees and the other half were asleep on beanbags. But they did like a song he wrote about global warming.
One man's pleasure is another man's pain. One man's loss is another man's gain. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do when the river runs dry? It's a long, hard life when you're living on the land. Those people on the farms are gonna need a helping hand, and that's true. So what are you gonna do when the river runs dry? When the river runs dry, ain't no clouds in the sky, ain't no birds in the trees, ain't no honey for the bees. You know why? When the river runs dry, when the river runs dry, you better look up in the sky, 'cause no eagle don't fly and no baby don't cry. You'll know why. When the river runs dry, you got some food on the table and some money in the bank. You got a net man on the windscreen and some gas in the tank. But where you going? And what do you expect to find when the river runs dry? One man's pleasure is another man's pain. The mighty Murray is dying, we ain't getting any rain, and that's true. So what are you gonna do when the river runs dry? When the river runs dry, ain't no clouds in the sky, ain't no birds in the trees, ain't no honey for the bees, ain't no seed in the ground, and you won't hear a sound, 'cause the river of life has run dry.
Hey, Roger. It seems that this John Ray Brown was a loner with a cause.
He was a loner, all right, until he met Sally White.
Ah, the Karaoke Queen. She was the singer he met in a cocktail bar, wasn't she?
Yes, and one thing led to another, and they started making beautiful music together, if you get my drift.
You mean like some private collaborations? Behind closed doors?
Hey, Roger. I thought you told me I had to raise the bar.
Good idea. Sally could see that John's music was going to take him places, and she wanted to go along for the ride.
You seem to know a lot about this. Was the Karaoke Queen in trouble with the law?
She was a person of interest in a case up north that was about to go cold. I was part of a task force assigned to interview her.
So it sounds like she might have been carrying a bit of baggage.
Excess baggage, 30 kg.
What the? Who is that guy? What's that all about?
That's another story. Cocaine Cassie. We'll get to that later.
There seem to be a lot of mysteries in the Outback. I was hoping for a cold drink. I wasn't expecting a cold case.
Out here, there are plenty of people with secrets. Some are running from their past. Others are chasing a better future.
Sally had a little secret that she kept to herself. She thought she had herself to blame. It was something that no one liked to talk about, and that was just the crying shame. So she
You two don't seem to be taking all this too seriously.
Oh, we thought this was all part of the helicopter pub crawl entertainment.
Yeah, like Barry's Outback menu routine.
We've had floods, dry riverbeds, camels, and now a singing detective.
Out in the outback, some stories are 100% true. Others are just pub crawl theatre. You won't know which is which until the last shout.
So which one was Sally's story meant to be then?
You will have to wait a while yet for the last shout.
Come on then, Roger. Your shout. Let's see if Barry might have a nice cold Chardonnay.
Kev will be setting up his projector and screen to show you some news footage and some reenactments from other cases I was assigned to.
So how did your chat to Jimbo go? Here's the Outback's answer to True Detective.
Mate, I couldn't tell if he's telling us about real crimes or just auditioning for Australia's Got Talent.
Kev's projector show might clear that up, but out here it's hard to know where the facts end and where the pub theatre begins.
Okay, that does it. Give me a double shot of your Paul John whiskey.
We have a very reputable newspaper up here and we never have any fake news.
Well, that newspaper sums up this Outback experience perfectly. Half mystery, half madness.
Probably more like 10% truth and 90% pub theatre.
Or maybe Jimbo's truth will be 100% of diddly squat.
That's next level, Denise. But I suppose you can't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Jimbo's projector show will separate the truth from the pub theatre, and the show's about to start, so you might need a drink.
It's my shout, Barry. And if Jimbo's show is any good, I'll get the next round too.
An icy cold Chardonnay might help us get through the show.
We have a very nice shardy out here, vintage territory dreamtime.
Have we gone back in time? This looks like something from the 60s or maybe from Nimbin.
You'll find it does have a bit of a kick, but it might help you see the Outback in a whole new light.
Okay, 2 large glasses, please. We've had a bit of everything. Might as well head straight to the Twilight Zone.
It does feel like we're in another dimension. Maybe I should cancel my credit card.
No need, Roger. 2 large glasses coming up. Go and grab a seat. Jimbo has the projector fired up and the show is about to begin. Let's rock.
Okay, folks, fact or fiction, I'll let you be the judge. This is where I first caught up with John and Sally.
If you are driving, you better slow down. Cause there's a roadblock on the south side of town. There's been a breakout at the jailhouse. The 2 men are on the run. They shot the warden, and now they got his gun. The Murphy boys are on the run. They've been doing life for what they done. They broke into a farmhouse, kicked down the kitchen door. They shot on Davy Howe, left him lying on the floor. Are beginning to bark, and they'll keep searching until it's dark. Those boys will have to hide out like swamp rats in a drain. You can't hide in a drain forever, and all those dogs will bark again. So don't you give those boys a ride. Can't say you won't be, go back inside. There's a roadblock on the freeway, and it's just around the bend. Those boys are armed and dangerous, there's only one way this can end.
Okay, folks, we might have a short intermission while we load up the next video for you.
That was pretty full on. I think I need another drink after that.
That was like something out of a movie.
I'll bet you that Jimbo just downloaded some of those videos from YouTube.
No, Jimbo was there when it all went down, and so were John Ray and Sally.
Hang on a sec. Do you mean those two were actually real people?
Too right. They were as real as that Martin authentic guitar that he left here. And when he played it, even the dingoes howled in tune.
Hallelujah and praise the Lord. Some truth has finally been revealed.
So, Padre, funny you should put it that way, a man of religion, are you?
A man of religion? I don't think so. Roger attempts some gospel songs at karaoke. That's about it.
Okay, I get it. You want me to get back to that story about the Karaoke Queen, don't you?
Yes, please. Denise is probably still not convinced that all this is fair dinkum.
100% fair dinkum. Jimbo caught up with John and Sally at a roadblock down in Goulburn. He was just about to interview them when word came through. Backup was needed. The Murphy boys were in a shootout, and there was only one way it was going to end.
So where to next for Bonnie and Clyde?
Kalgoorlie. Jimbo got an alert about the number plate on John's blue 1975 Camaro when he pulled them over at the roadblock in Goulburn. He was then able to track them all the way across the Nullarbor Plain. Things got really crazy in Kalgoorlie. That's when Jimbo reckons the whole story took a turn none of us saw coming.
When the sun goes down in this hard-beaten town, you've been driving in big cats all day. And your back is different, soft and shifting tons of pressure, so you've been working hard for your pay. And it's a long, slow haul up from the bottom of the pit when you're carrying the maximum load. But when you get back from the mine, you better not step out of line. This town's a powder cake about to explode. The Calgary cops will be out on the street, please. at night when the boats close their door. It's the world's toughest beat, and they'll turn and lean all the bikies and the ferals and the whores. And the boys in blue will be coming after you if you're thinking about breaking the law. You don't wanna take a shower in the jailhouse tonight and be picking up soap off the floor. Well, there's a pub on every corner down on Hammond Street, and in the back room the girls put on a show. And if you come up with the cash, you can get a titty bash from Betty Lou, Mary Joe. And there's a river of booze and a fortune to lose. The West is booming and there's money to burn. But if you get into a fight, you could get locked up for the night, and that's a hard lesson to learn. The cavalry cops will be out on the street late at night when the pubs close their door. It's the worst of the speed, and they'll turn and beat all the bikies and the ferals and the whores. And the boys in blue will be coming after you if you're thinking about breaking the law. You don't wanna take a shower in the jailhouse tonight and be picking up soap off the floor.
You look like shit. And you smell like shit.
Well, there's a place called John's where bikies and fudge eat chicken wings and caviar. And there's a razorback's head hanging up on the wall and a shotgun under the bar. And when those East Coast boys take the red eye in a pub, then get on board the gravy train. They won't stand a chance in a place as big as France when they're out there on the Malibu plain. The cavalry cops will be out on the street late at night when the pubs close their door. It's the worst of the speed, and they'll turn and beat all the bikies and the ferals and the whores. And the boys in blue will be coming after you if you're thinking about breaking the law. You don't wanna take a shower in the jailhouse tonight and be picking up soap off the floor.
Wow, Kalgoorlie looks like a really crazy place.
And you were able to track them down. Excellent police work.
Police Academy 101. But as you've just seen, Kalgoorlie wasn't a place for East Coast boys trying to get on board the gravy train.
Looks like there was quite a lot of nightlife, so probably plenty of gigs for John and Sally.
John Ray had played in just about every pub in the Outback to some very tough audiences, but Kalgoorlie was another level altogether.
Another level? Yeah, probably the basement.
The bands in Kalgoorlie had to play on a stage in a cage. The locals and the bikies would throw stubbies at the stage if they didn't like the song, or even if they did.
Maybe the audience should have been in the cage.
John Ray decided it might be safer for Sally if she was pulling beers behind a bar.
But not always in the same pubs. And that's when things went sideways.
It wasn't just the law that Sally was running from.
It wasn't just the law. What do you mean?
Yeah, who was it then?
Shades Nightwalker.
And the boys in blue will be coming after you if you're thinking about breaking the law. You don't wanna take a shower in the jailhouse tonight and be picking up soap off the floor.
Shades Nightwalker? Who was he? That can't be his real name, surely.
No, Brian Corrigan was his real name.
Was he in trouble with the law too?
He was either a victim or a perpetrator, or maybe both. Depends who you talk to. Some say he got stitched up, others say he had it coming. Sally might be the only one who knows the real story.
I think I've had one too many of Barry's shardies. Kev, can you introduce us to your friend there?
Yeah, sure. This is Strat Fassbender. He and John Ray go way back.
Strat, that's an unusual name. German, is it?
It's a guitar, Roger.
Yeah, right. Hey, Strat, we saw you earlier over there drinking at the bar.
I drink to forget.
Forget what?
I forgot.
Strat and John Ray had a bit of a tangle at the Battle of the Bands at the Tenterfield Rodeo, an epic guitar duel.
A guitar duel. Did anyone get hurt?
Shut up, Roger.
After that night, their paths went very different ways. One to fame, the other to... well, that's another story.
Would that be the Cocaine Cassie story?
Yes, but after the epic guitar duel, John Ray decided he still had a long way to go with his guitar playing.
So, Strat, did we have a winner on the night of the guitar duel?
The jury is still out on that one.
The guitar playing was so hot, a defibrillator was required, and there were a few cases of tinnitus the next day.
This next song is called Excess Baggage. It's about a trip that didn't quite go to plan.
She bought some headphones, I bought a guitar. We had excess baggage, 30 kg. Well, the counselor's man went to check my shoes and said, all I want to do is play the blues. He said, hey man, what's in that case? I said, I think it's just a powder she puts on her face. Maybe she's got a book or two, some high-heel shoes and some perfume too. If you ask her real nice, she'll have a drink with you. Please don't stop us now. Excess baggage, excess baggage, excess baggage, excess baggage, 30 kg. cell. We had excess baggage, 30 kg. that's right. I didn't want to stay there overnight. All I really wanted was a boarding pass.